Well, hello and welcome to another Daily Dominion. We have Saturday, so we have a bunch of different expansions mixed. Right off the gate, we can see City Gate as a project and even an event from Empires Advance. And yeah, a lot of interesting cards, an interesting mixture of cards. I think this kingdom will be rather tricky to play. I didn't have the time to play it before, and also I apologize once again. I did not find the time to record myself yesterday. But yesterday's kingdom also was super tricky with all of these specialists and throne rooms, and already while playing it very casually in a lunch break, I struggled to keep up mentally, and then later on, when I was home at 11:30, I did not feel like replaying and recording myself because I was mentally drained. But today I'm fresh and up for this kingdom here. We have some draw in Haunted Woods and Ranger and Magpie. If you so take it, also Maroon, if you trash a composite card, like trashing a Haunted Woods to Maroon would yield 6 cards. Of course, you wouldn't want that. We do have some good thinning in Maroon, Spice Merchant upgrade, and then later Graverobber can make use of those actions that we don't need. And in the same vein, Advanced can make use of those actions we won't need. We then also have, well, City Gate for utility, but more importantly, what is the village situation? There are powerful terminals in Haunted Woods and Maroon, and Graverobber here, so the only village here is Royal Carriage, and to make that a proper village that gives plus action, you will need Magpies. Maybe we will want to play with Tactician to set up the turns in a nice way. That means we would need some payload that we use during our action phase to then, because we are going to discard all of the treasures, that would make Magpies not as valuable as they usually are with a treasure-laden deck. But still, this might be the way to go. Tactician, having a bunch of royal carriages, doing some Graverobber stuff for payload, upgrading Magpies maybe into the 5 costs, I can see that. So I think there is a bunch to do here, but it is going to be finicky to set up. City Gate lets us have some start of turn utility. Also Haunted Woods, Tactician, and Merchantship. I mean, Merchantship, okay, just +2 money. But all of this, I think, incentivizes us to go for a Tactician Royal Carriage deck that is very thin, that does a lot of Graverobber stuff, and upgrade stuff. But how do we get there is the question. Well, we have several options of thinning our deck early on. Maybe Maroon and Spice Merchant is the way to go. And like a combination of those, then we also want upgrade to turn the stuff into higher cost cards. We will want to add Magpie also as soon as possible. So I think we're opening Maroon and then I'm going for Magpies afterwards. And then pivot into the tactician stuff only later on if we have our deck a bit better under control and the discard your hand thing is not going to be as punishing. Let's look at the kingdom plot. We have a kingdom plot that tells us all everything is there, but arguably the village section is the weakest here, as Royal Carriage as a village is a bit awkward. It is a throne room variant, but it cannot play itself. Like you with throne room itself is a valid village because you can throne and then I don't know play smithy and then double play another action. Whereas for Royal Carriage, we do need to replay an action that we've just played, and we cannot replay a Royal Carriage itself. So that is a bit on the more awkward side. However, yeah, I don't know. It should still work out. Attack-wise, the Haunted Woods attack, if we play with a double Tactician deck, then the Haunted Woods attack will not hurt us at all. If we were to play with some other stuff where we would buy cards, then the Haunted Woods attack could potentially be annoying. And apart from that, there is no other attack. You might wonder why the attack bar is so high. I think it's because I've classified Haunted Woods as a rather disruptive attack that itself already goes up to 3. And yeah, I don't know, opening wise, as I said, Maroon Silver sounds alright. It's not the best opening in the world by any means, but yeah, maybe we could also think about opening Maroon City Gate. That would mean that we would certainly trigger a shuffle on. Actually, the more I think about this, the better it sounds. I mean, we do want to hit 5, but with Maroon trashing estates, we will at least hit 4, I think, for Magpies, or we should with most hands, and that would mean that we are guaranteed to shuffle our deck on turn 4 with the City Gate Maroon opening. Actually, yeah, Scrap the Silver. Maybe Maroon City Gate is better. It's a bit faster, like just tempo-wise, we'll get through our deck quicker. And on the 5-2, I think just upgrade nothing is quite alright, quite good. But yeah, let's start this and go for the Maroon City Gate. Notably, you do not have this option when you go for the 3-4, unless you want to trigger a really bad shuffle. So yeah, let's do this. Okay, in this case, this is inconsequential, as we will just trigger here. We do get to add a Magpie. This could also be a Spice Merchant, but Magpies early on will probably just draw us coppers, but it's going to be fine. Or we get more Magpies, which is quite nice right now. And yeah, we can add Spice Merchant now. This Maroon will probably draw something that is not that great, as this Magpie here. But as soon as we hit upgrade, I think we should hit upgrade on the next turn, we should get going fast, especially turning those Magpies into something good, and then thinning out those coppers. Now the City Gate so far hasn't done that much for us, but we also arguably had just pretty good hands anyways. And we could think about just getting the +1 buy here. But actually, I would like to find our Maroon, and there's Magpies down there. So I think we are fairly safe to draw here. Yeah, getting another Magpie into the deck, and we've gotten further through the deck than we would have otherwise. And now this for sure wants to be an upgrade, so we can start turning some of the Magpies into better stuff. Let's start out with the Magpie, I guess. Doesn't matter that much. Thin out this copper, upgrade. Now this is already a good question, what we want to upgrade here. I think actually we might want to upgrade just this estate into a silver at this point, and draw on a bit further, and then thin out one of the coppers with Maroon. And yeah, our Magpies breed a bit, which is really nice. And actually, yeah, this means that our silver Magpie are top decked. We can trash out a card here. And what do we want to go for now? I think it's still a bit too early to go for the Tactician. So maybe this just wants to be a second upgrade. And then, yeah, the upgrades can start turning those Magpies into, I don't know, Royal Carriages, Graverobbers, and yeah, looks all pretty good. We do need to think about draw stuff, like how well we can draw stuff later on. And here, yeah, let's see what. Well, maybe we just play this Spice Merchant first for 2+ cards. These Magpies draw here, which is not exactly what we want yet, but I think it's also fine. If we play this last Magpie, we get to breed one more Magpie, and then be on with that. And actually, we could already now think about playing a tactician. That would mean that we would not buy anything this turn. So maybe we rather just turn this Maroon into a maybe maybe a Graverobber already, and then start out with this kind of stuff. I mean, we could also already play a tactician, but this really would mean that we don't yet get to buy good stuff. So maybe just Graverobber turning one of the Magpies into something better, and yeah, ending our turn that way. And yeah, we could also regain this Maroon from trash, but I don't think we need it. We can trash a Magpie for a Royal Carriage. And just buy... Here I'm not sure. Maybe this wants to be Ranger. In the end, I don't think it's gonna matter that much, because we're probably going to get rid of it anyways. So yeah, why not a Ranger? But this is going pretty good. Like, it's turn 8, we've secured most of the Magpies. And I mean, they don't really draw that much right now. But they do get to, yeah, draw from time to time. And yeah, now we really ought to start adding this tactician. Although for now, yeah, we can just gain a Magpie from trash onto our deck and just draw through this deck. And yeah, it's a bit of a pity that we got to play the Spice Merchant still for +2 cards and +1 action. But oh well. And yeah, here we can turn this this Ranger into a tactician, this Magpie into a Royal Carriage, and then next turn we start popping off with the Graverobber stuff, I think. So yeah, this is... Or do we just want to put a... turn the silver into a better card? Could also be a valid thought. Yeah, next turn this will allow us to do something more productive with the upgrade. And we don't really need the Royal Carriage yet. But I could see either argument, I guess. So now we play this Tactician. And skip one of our buys here. But I think we've set up our deck really nicely now. So we should be quite good. AI also has a thin deck at this point. But yeah, it doesn't have any of the tactician stuff going. And look at this stack of Magpies. It's beautiful. It's exactly what we want. Now this turn we can get rid of the Spice Merchant in order to get another Royal Carriage. There's no silver down there anymore. Like, this was the only treasure that the Magpies could ever dream to draw. But well, the Magpies aren't here for that anymore. So we just now turn this into a Royal Carriage, I think. Play this Royal Carriage and now turn those two turn Ranger and Magpie into Tactician and Royal Carriage. And what do we get rid of first? Probably the Magpie to Royal Carriage, call the Royal Carriage and turn Ranger into Tactician. Play this Royal Carriage, play two of the Magpies to draw on. Decline that, decline that. And we do get to gain actions from the trash. And we should start also putting 5-cost actions in the trash, but for now we can just trash another Magpie into another Royal Carriage and replay this to trash another action into another Royal Carriage and draw one of them at least. And yeah, slowly but surely our deck is coming along. Get to play the Tactician. We could play it again, but since it wouldn't discard any cards, that wouldn't matter that much. But we've slowly maneuvered ourselves into a range where we get to do a lot of things with our deck. And yeah, here it's a bit annoying that we draw the copper and none of our Magpies will draw it, but well, what can you do? Yeah, I think we should now start also trashing upgrades soon-ish. But for now, we can turn one of the Magpies into a Royal Carriage again. Decline that. Use those Magpies to draw a tiny bit. And maybe I shouldn't have used this Royal Carriage, but actually it's fine because we want to have Magpies as fodder for those things. And I think we're a bit starved for draw now, so maybe we add a Haunted Woods just to increase the capabilities of drawing here. And yeah, what do we do? What do we do? I don't know. It's a bit unclear to me actually. I think we just draw through and yeah, upgrade one more Magpie into a Haunted Woods for next turn. Decline that. Decline that and just draw on. And yeah, we don't have that many targets for Graverobber at this point. But that's fine. We can just trash this Magpie into another Graverobber or just Royal Carriage. Replay it to gain another Magpie maybe on top. Or we could gain a pair of Rangers. Actually, we only need one Ranger to draw more cards. I think that's quite nice because of the Royal Carriages. And yeah, I think we just leave those Royal Carriages on top of our deck, and next turn we should be probably able to pile out. So yeah, discard this and skip our turn once again. Now we will draw 8 cards here off of the Haunted Woods and the Tactician, and we have 3 of the Royal Carriages on the mat. So yeah, this next turn should be quite potent. And we will probably end the game on Royal Carriages, upgrades, and then gain some sort of points. Yeah, what does the AI buy here? Yeah, this is going to make it really, really easy to pile out for us, unless we mess up somehow. And yeah, if we only had 3 cards left, then we would need to resolve the City Gate first here to not accidentally whatchamacallit, have to top deck a card without drawing anything, but yeah, here we're fine. Now, is this a win? It surely is. I would be very, very surprised if it weren't. We have 7, so we can... we have 2 buys, so we can even advance 2 things. The top card is a copper. I think we just play this a bunch, trash this Tactician into something, trash this upgrade into something, trash this upgrade into something. Right, now we will need to trash it into a Royal Carriage. And now okay, what do we do now? To win this in a nice fashion, we already have it in hand, I guess. But maybe we can do something a bit more stylish. We can gain an upgrade from the trash again. Decline this, decline that, decline that, decline that. And now this magpie would draw us the copper as well. We can also just play this ranger for... Ah no, actually if we play this ranger we will need to royal carriage it a lot. Yeah, but we do have to win. With the buys and advance, we can always advance our actions into upgrades here to end the game. And yeah, looks fine. Yeah, we do need to... Oh, I actually did not realize we didn't have any actions there anymore. But yeah, it's more than fine. We get to advance a lot. My actual plan was to upgrade the magpies, but well, no such luck. We have to advance the magpies into the good stuff and end this game with 12-0 victory points. But really, also our deck was in just a much better state than the AIs. We could have left a lot of royal carriages on the mat that turn and just not thought about piling out already, but rather just keep our deck in a nice manner. I'm very happy I did not mess this up completely. Like, this was actually close to messing up, as I missed that we didn't have more actions, but luckily with the buys from the Rangers we were quite golden. Yeah, I don't know, what do we learn from this? Well, get thin, get rolling as quickly as possible, and do the Royal Carriage Graverobber stuff. I think AI was on a good way overall, but it just completely missed out on those magpies. I mean, in the end, we didn't have any magpies in our deck anymore. All of the 10 magpies have found their way to the trash, but we did make a lot of use of them. Anyways, that wraps up today's video. And just a sec, I wanted to show off something. I'm going to prepare it right now. And I'm back and I've prepared the thing I wanted to prepare, and that's the website. I don't think I have showed it off in my dailies before, but right now there has been an update that I've come up with, in that you can now go through each of the dailies, like go to the Kingdom Oracle on randomkingdomminion.streamlit.app/oracle, or just go to the main page and then navigate through the Oracle, and then go to TGG Dailies to review all of the daily kingdoms, at least up to the date that I've last updated the website with. And then now you see that there are those letters F, J, S, Y, which indicate whom of the YouTubers have done videos of. And yeah, now you can watch all of the videos, all of the playthroughs that you so want, like myself, or JNails, or Sharur, or Yudai, if you want different perspectives. And those have been added for all of the daily kingdoms. And even if we go back all the way, there are playthroughs by Mick Kuznok. There are playthroughs by Holds. If we go back to this one, for example, we can find that. And yeah, I'm quite proud how this turned out. I think it's quite intuitive how to search for whatever. And you can, of course, do the usual, like look at what the kingdom plot looks like over here as well, and look at rules interactions, look at combos that might appear in the kingdom. And yeah, also we've updated the interactions database. There are now 1,700 pairwise interactions. There are now 600 combos, synergies, whatever. But yeah, watch my video on this stuff. If you, I'm going to put if I don't forget, I'm going to put a thing on the YouTube video right now. Watch a video on this if you are interested in what this website is about. And yeah, this was a short detour from the daily, but now, well, I'm able to wrap up this video, and I will try to catch you in the next one. And until then, goodbye.